Hi, this is Coralla at CorallaFickling.com and WelcomeNetwork.com, and we're going to be looking at irregular verbs in English and their translation into Spanish. Now, I'm basically giving the main translation. I'm not giving secondary or tertiary definitions. I'm giving the main definition, the definition that most people know. All right. Now, if you want to get the irregular verbs in English and get other translations, including the figurative, not just the literal translation, you can go into WelcomeNetwork.com and look for irregular verbs in Spanish, and look for the one that talks about the literal as well as the figurative translation of the irregular verbs in Spanish. There's about maybe about 10 sets, and each set contains about 100 verbs. It's about 800, because you're talking about now not just looking at the most important definition of the word, but also other definitions that you might not readily know or have been taught, and also the figurative definition, and also sometimes when that irregular verb is part of a two-word verb phrase. Okay, so let's look at the verb. Now, this is the way I'm going to do it. For most verbs, with the exception of maybe the verb to be. The verb to be is always an exception, okay? But with most verbs, I'm going to have first the infinitive of the verb, the infinitive, all right? Then I'm going to have, because most verbs that are irregular in English are not irregular in the present tense. There are some, maybe it's about 10, 15 at the most, maybe. But they're irregular in the past. So I'm going to give you the infinitive. Then I'm going to give you the past tense irregular form, and then the past participle irregular form. Because if a verb is irregular in the past tense, it is also irregular in the past participle. Okay, so let me just give you an example. Let's say I have the verb hablar. Now, hablar is the forma simple, el infinitivo, the infinitive. Now, in Spanish, you have verbs that are AR, hablar, verbs that are ER, comer, and verbs that are IR, vivir, right? In English, you don't have that. All you have is to, then you have the verb. And just for your own information, if you have, let's say, the verb to eat, as an example, which is comer, no? Or hablar, which is to talk, or vivir, which is to live. Let's say you have those verbs, right? The to plus the verb, that's the infinitive. If you remove the to, and you just have eat, talk, live, that's a simple form of the verb. That's a simple form of the verb. And that form of the verb is used in the future. Will talk, will eat, will live. In the conditional, would talk, would eat, would live. In the present tense, are, you, we, they talk, he, she, it. But now with he, she, it, you have to add the S to it. He, she, it talks. Okay? It's also the form that you used in the past tense negative. I did not talk. I did not live. I did not eat. Okay? You never use, whether it's a regular verb or irregular verb, you never use the past form in the negative. Okay? Except with the verb to be, and remember the verb to be is super weird. Okay, one more thing. I'm going to start with the verb to be. Now, the verb to be in Spanish is ser or estar. Okay, so where things are, ser is more permanent. That's how we're taught in English, the difference between ser and estar. Ser is much more permanent. It's part of who you are, right? So, soy negra, no soy mujer, no, right? Versus something that is much more temporary. Estar, I can't think of anything right now. Estoy enojada, okay, or estoy feliz, okay, right? In English, you don't do that. I am a woman, I am angry. Okay, so it's am. All right, one more thing. Many times in Spanish, when you use the verb tener, right? Tengo 40 años, okay, or tengo sueño, or tengo hambre. In English, we use the verb to be. I am 40 years old. I am, what did I say? I am sleepy. I am hungry. You do not say, I have 40 years old. I have sleep. I have hunger. I mean, you can say it, but it's not correct English. Or at least it's not English that most people speak. And you want to speak the language the way that most people speak it. Right? And then after that, if you know how to do that, then if you want to speak it a little bit differently, go for it. Go for it. Okay, so I'm dealing with the verb to be first. So like I said, the verb to be is ser or estar. This is the one of the only verb that has two past tense forms. So here it is. It's I, he, she, it was, W-A-S, you, we, they were. That's the past tense form. So the past tense form is was, were, depending on the person. And the past participle, only one form, been, B-E-E-N, He estado or he sido, has estado o has sido, había estado o habría estado, o hubiera estado o hubiera sido. Okay? That's when you use that. That been is the sido. Okay. Let's go down. I'm not going to get. I can't give them to you all because I don't really have time. There's quite a few. Here I have 176. It's really about 160 because here I also give you the irregular verbs in the present tense too. But I can't give you everything. Okay. Then you have the verb to bear. To bear. To bear. It's a little bit upper level in English because in English you normally would use the word to stand. I can't stand something or I don't like something, but you will hear the word to bear, and I want you to be able to speak all levels of the language. So to bear means aguantar. Okay, aguantar. No aguanto algo. No, tolerar, to tolerate. Okay, the past tense is bore. Okay, and the past participle is also bore. So, aguanté, no lo aguanté, no lo he aguantado, ado. That's the bore when the past participle. Like I said, when I'm looking over here, I'm looking at the cards themselves, but I don't, I'm not going to be able to give them to you all. Alright. Well, I think this is a very important verb, to beat. To beat, alright? And it could be translated as golpear or ganar. Now you probably say, well, how can it be? Yeah, we do, right? If I beat my child, God bless me for ever doing such a horrible thing. Eso es golpeo a mi hijo, no? Golpeo, right? But if I beat you, te gané, I beat you. Te gané. Okay, so here we go. The past tense, sometimes I have to look. I should look, I should know. But it's I, you, we, they, he, she, it, beat. Okay, that's the past tense. So the past tense and the present are basically the same. And the past participle is golpeado or ganado is beaten. B-E-A-T-E-N. So that's golpeado or ganado, depending on the context, okay? So like I said, but that, to beat has other meanings, so you have to be careful, okay? But I'm giving you the dominant meanings. They're the most important meanings. And two, because you hear it a lot. I beat you, te gané, yeah, no, me ganaste, you beat me. Or, no me vayas a golpear, you're not going to beat me, okay? No te voy a dejar que me golpee. I'm not going to let you beat me, okay? All right. Let me give you another verb that's pretty well used. Yes, of course. To become. I'm going to have to hurry on this one. To become. Llegar a ser. Ponerse. Volverse. Quedarse. Hacerse. Okay? To become. It means all of that. I'm just going to have to be straight. Became. And the past participle. Become. I'll continue with this on the next video. This is Coralla Ficklin at CorallaFicklin.com and WelcomeNetwork.com.